All right, so look, yes, we have a bit of a new thing going on because I just bought this shiny new toy, and I hope to God recording this video goes right the first time because Jesus Christ, I don't know what I'm doing here, and honestly, I'm still trying to figure all of this shit out because I don't know how to fit my tall ass in frame. So yeah, just go with me as we do this. So I'm going to proceed to take these off because I just realized how fucked up they look on camera, even though, you know, they fit me well, but the lights and shit. And also, this is the first time I'm actually wearing this vest. I've had this vest in my closet for years, and I was just looking around like, oh, I want to wear some cosplay shit for this first video with the new setup, and my eyes are already going bad. I'm sorry, I had to put the glasses back on. And I just pulled it out and I put it on, and now I'm like, I don't really think I could pull off the Dipper vest, and I'm honestly quite ready to take it off because it's just pretty big on me, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take it off. So hello, welcome back to my shit bedroom, where today we are going to talk about the best, the greatest, the most wonderful fucking manga I have read. So you're probably wondering, Ari, don't you have another video to do on another manga that you said was your favorite comic last year? And we still haven't gotten that. We also still haven't gotten a video on your favorite anime from last year, those being Mob Psycho 100 Season 2 and To Your Eternity. And to that I say yes, and you're not getting them because I hit major writer's block and I had no idea what the fuck I was doing anymore. So I just stopped because I knew I just wasn't gonna fucking make a good video. So that's why you're not getting them. Also, the reason why I'm talking about this comic now and not at the end of the year is because I am so not fucking doing a year-end video this year. Usually every year I put out a favorite anime and comics video, and that's been kind of going on pretty strong up until last year. This year, I just haven't had the fucking time. And you know, I'm really not going to have the time unless I spend the end of the year binging a bunch of anime and comics just to rush out a video, which I really don't want to do. And the live stream last year was great, but I don't really think I can pull it off again this year because that was pretty hard to do last year, especially when you're not very comfortable in the environment that you're in, and I really hope that fucking mic is working. So I'm just not doing anything like that this year. Instead, I'm going to do a end of the year kind of all general favorites video. Just my favorite things from the year, favorite anime, favorite comics, favorite books, favorite games. Because of course I am. Okay, Ari, that either sounds super dope or super shitty, so why am I here? Well, you're here to hear me talk about this fucking comic that you saw in the thumbnail, because if you didn't want that, or if you didn't want that, then why are you here? So, I finally read The Way of the House Husband, and it has been just incredible. So The Way of the House Husband is another one of those comics that I've just seen online for a long time on Twitter and comic forums like Reddit, and it's just gotten the highest of praise, but me not knowing how to fucking read, because God knows I've been trying to read fucking part 7 of JoJo for the past 7 goddamn months, I was really slow getting to it. It was only when I made the video challenging my Discord server to just nuke me with comics that I finally got to it. So I'm not trying to be biased or discriminate, but House Husband was definitely the best comic that I read in that video, and I thank Pete every single day for finally making me read this comic. This is a comedy manga who follows the ex-Yakuza who once went by the name The Immortal Tetsu. That's how you know he's kind of sort of a badass. And Tetsu recently got out of the game. He found someone, he's married, and now he's a full-time caretaker. Also, his nickname is Tatty, and Tatty is really cute. So that's what I'm calling him for the rest of this video. So the comic starts like any other comedy manga would, with just a bunch of gags to set up these characters and some of the jokes and scenarios that we're gonna follow. Like, Taddy looks scary and he automatically scares people, but he's super pacifist and he does something nice and people are less scared of him. Then you have ex-Yakuza recognize him and they're like, oh, we wanna fight you, we have a score to settle, and he's fully pacifist now. So instead of fighting them, he just takes them down with his boss-ass house husband powers. Then you have the police who are on his ass and they want to try and bust him for something, but he's doing nothing wrong. So the cops are constantly foiled because they just don't believe that Taddy has changed at all. So despite me finding it very, very funny, why do I love this comic? Why do I adore it? Why do I recommend it? And why is it already my comic of the year, even though it's only the beginning of September? 2 words here, people. It's cute. I don't know what you want from me to say. It's cute. It's just so fucking cute. It's goddamn adorable. And I fucking love it because it's so fucking cute. So now that we've cleared step 1 of establishing that this comic is hilarious and cute, we better get to step 2, which is, why is it cute? Well, the main thing that really makes this comic work is the dynamic of every aspect of this comic. I feel like with everything that goes on in this story, with these characters, with the plots and the jokes, it's all pinned so incredibly well that it doesn't get boring or stale, but it's still really adorable. So rewinding like a minute ago when I was talking about how in this comic, the beginning started with people thinking Taddy is scary and the Yakuza trying to settle a score with him. The comic evolves over time so that that stuff is either phased out or it's incorporated into the story and keeping the comic fresh with the, you know, comedy. So eventually, as time goes on, people become less scared of Taddy and they just kind of see him as this normal or pretty weird guy. He becomes more well known in his community. He makes more friends. The neighbors get along with him. And it honestly gets to the point where the neighbors are more Yakuza than the Yakuza. It is pretty hilarious. Then you have the ex-Yakuza who is just kind of dissolving and have to find their place in society. This is where a character like Misa comes in, who was once Taddy's underling, and now that the mob is gone, he doesn't really know what to do with himself anymore. When we first see him in the comic, he's just this delinquent punk who's always getting into trouble, always wants to fight, can't hold down a job, and then he comes across Taddy again and he's like, what the hell happened to you? And Taddy has to literally beat his ass into place. But over time, Misa does kind of learn. Somewhat a little bit maybe. Misa and his character and his story is just kind of the first and the main one we see when it comes to the Yakuza integrating back into society, because you have other characters like him who are also trying to do the same thing, but you don't see them as much. Like the wife of the ex-mob boss, who is now alone and a widow, so she's trying to, you know, make her way back into society. Then you have other characters like Torajiro, who decided to become a businessman and he opened up his own food truck. And when he first sees Taddy, it's like, oh, I have a score to settle with you. So they have the fucking food Instagram cooking battle. But after that, he comes back and he's like, oh man, I really don't want my business to close, what do? So he calls on Taddy and they try their best to help Torajiro's business stay open. It's things like that that keeps this manga fresh, because it would just get so boring if the cops were still trying to get dirt on Taddy, even though we as the reader know that Taddy's doing nothing wrong. Or if the ex-Yakuza was constantly trying to recruit him back in the game or settle scores with him, even though we know the mob is gone and Taddy is a pacifist. What the fuck is the point of doing that then? It's just way more fun seeing these people try to reintegrate themselves into society and hold down jobs or express their emotions than whatever it is that the Yakuza do when they're bored. Kind of on the flip side of that, you have Taddy's friends who are just normal civilians and housewives, and I just want to shout out these women because they are the true OGs of this comic. I mean, these women are just so freaking normal, and they're like, oh, you're a house husband? come on and join our group. Let's get coffee, let's get tea, let's go to Pilates together. Come on, Taddy, you're one of us now. And that's adorable. I mean, okay, look, I'm sorry to get analytical here, but I am just so happy that more people are realizing that being a full-time caretaker, there's nothing wrong with that. And there are full-time caretakers that are men. So what's the problem? But in all seriousness, I'm just so happy that more people in the world are realizing that it's more common to just not want to work, because if the meaning to life is working all the damn time, that doesn't really seem like much of a life to me. There's nothing wrong with a person wanting to be a businesswoman. There's nothing wrong with a person wanting to be a full-time caretaker. There's nothing wrong with a couple just not wanting to work at all. You know, there's nothing wrong with wanting to play with fire and retire early so that you can be a full-time caretaker and raise your kid together. I mean, not wanting to work and live a simpler life where you have a stable income, that's fucking crazy, man. Who would want that? That's why I really like the housewife characters in this manga so much, because they're just so friendly and accepting of Taddy. He's just a part of the group with them. He doesn't have the mob anymore. He doesn't have a gang or anyone else to be loyal to except for his wife. And it's kind of like the housewives are his new mob. And the chapter that really solidifies that is the one where he meets the Women's Association. This is one of the best chapters to me because of how accepting it is of Taddy and his choices to leave behind the mob and just want to live a peaceful life. When you first meet the Women's Association, they are the goddamn Yakuza. It doesn't hold back and it doesn't play. They will not allow just anyone in the group. And in order for Taddy to get in, he has to prove himself. The only person who denies Taddy entrance is the florist, and that's because he's not graceful enough. So she has him attend her flower classes, and after she whips him into shape, he does this complete 180 where now he's just super elegant and graceful, and he earns his place into the association, and everyone's so happy and they're cheering him on. No one is barring Taddy from joining the association out of malice. He just had to earn his place, and he did, and he got in, and it was fantastic. So I kind of forgot to mention that Taddy absolutely fucking slaps as a house husband, because he's a bit of a boss at his job. He's not OP, but he's not so unbelievably skilled that it's unbelievable. I can't think of any other word. When the manga begins, there's clearly been some passage of time from Taddy leaving the mob, because he's already so skilled in areas like cooking and cleaning, but we also see him read books and attend cooking classes. We see him develop his social skills and become more friendly by babysitting the neighbor's kid or hanging out with the housewives and going to dance classes. Things like that not only develop his character, but also shows us that he's been working on these skills for a while now, and he doesn't really have a way to go, but he's just so determined at getting better that he doesn't stop. So yeah, why the fuck not learn DIY? Because he clips coupons and it's literal war getting goddamn deals on shirts and cabbages, and I don't understand either. I'm not a housewife. But it's also super clear that the reason why Taddy is so good and so focused and excels at building these new skills is because he never lost those Yakuza traits. Taddy is fiercely determined, but he's also a little bit obsessive, because be honest with yourself, no man can make a cake that looks that fucking good after 1 month of cooking classes. He learned how to do that because he put his mind to it, but at the same time, he does tend to get caught up in his numerous hobbies that his wife is kind of like, babe, Are you okay? So what kind of video would this be if we didn't touch upon Miku, who is Taddy's loving and adoring wife? And I honestly wish that we had more of her. Miku is a high-standing career woman who is focused on her career, but she's also not too caught up in it that she can't make time for her husband. She's the breadwinner, she's the one who brings the bacon in, and Taddy manages the finances. But Miku was also a closet otaku. She's a Precure fan, or whatever this manga calls their Precure knockoff. And to that I say, I don't understand, but I know a Precure fan, and I admire her for her love of her fandom. So Miku, I salute you. But Miku is a supporting character, and even though she's Taddy's wife, I really wish we got more of her. When the manga starts, it's pretty clear why these two are married, and that is because she is the only person who has been able to kick Taddy's ass. But we've also never seen their backstory, and we really don't have to, and I'll get to that in a minute. But Miku's character is basically the secret otaku wife who brings home the bacon. And like, okay, what do we know about Miku? A successful businesswoman, can't cook worth shit, probably can't clean very well, loves her anime and gacha hell. Yeah, I have no idea about the rest. I would really like to know more about her as an individual. Like, what's some other parts of her personalities? What's some of her likes and dislikes? You know, things like that to flesh her out more instead of just kind of identifying her around her work, her hobbies, and her relationship. But aside from that, Miku with Taddy, I love them. They're cute. They're so cute. They're adorable. They are adorable, and I love them. So a lot of viewers may know that my favorite romance anime is Dani Gennady, or I can't understand what my husband is saying. And part of the reason why I love that show so much is how it begins with the couple already married, and now they're in the beginning of their relationship. So throughout the story, we basically have to learn why this couple works so well and why they got married, even though they are total and complete opposites. And it's cute and it's funny, but it's also really heartwarming and charming and sweet. Taddy and Miku and their relationship remind me a lot of what I enjoy from Dani Gennady. And the main thing about them that I really enjoy is just how supportive they are of one another. Miku always saw the best in Taddy. When we see flashbacks, it's always of Taddy being hurt and Miku stops and she helps him out. And she never saw him as scary. And Taddy is just fiercely loyal of Miku. Together, they're a bit of a power couple with a really lovely dynamic. We can already see what about them completes each other. In my headcanon, based on what we've seen in the manga, the reason why these two gravitated towards each other was because Miku represented what Taddy didn't have. She is peace and calm and a normal life. He wanted to get out of the game, so that's what he did. He fell in love with this woman, they got married, and Miku supports him in all of his endeavors. While Miku probably couldn't find the right guy, and that's because of her secret otaku hobby. Taddy has no idea what the fuck this shit is or what she's talking about, but he respects it. He respects her. He's kind of like Mortimer Goth in a way, where he kisses the ground that she walks on, but he also allows her the freedom to be herself and independent. It's adorable and I love it and it's cute and oh my god, it's just adorable and I love it and it's cute. The chapter where Taddy gets sick is the best chapter of the manga to me because it shows how happy these two make each other. Taddy is fiercely loyal to his wife and he genuinely cares for her and her feelings. While Miku is the same. She shows worry and concern when Taddy is sick and she does her best to nurse him back to health, even though it's kind of messy. But when Taddy heals up and these two look at each other, there's a genuine bond of happiness. Taddy loves and supports Miku. Miku loves and supports Taddy. Patty, and this was the chapter that showed it. It showed that they genuinely cared for each other and loved each other and valued each other and their happiness, and the last thing that they want to do is hurt each other. So those are my scattered ramblings on The Way of the House Husband and why you should read it and why it's great. This video was very messy, I know. I wrote down notes and I didn't look at them. So Way of the House Husband has been published in the West. You can check that out if you want. But my main thing right now is there's a TV drama dropping next month and I can't wait for it. It's also getting an anime, I believe. I forgot, I don't know, but I really want to see that TV drama because The House Husband also got live action commercials and you can watch them here on YouTube, and honestly, the commercials are perfect. The actor for Taddy will not be returning for the TV show, and that's probably because he's Seto fucking Kaiba, but the commercials are spot on. They pretty much recreated the manga shot for shot, and the actor is just absolutely incredible. Like, he even gets the poses right. That's how good he is. The commercial is hilarious. It's 10 minutes. You can watch it on YouTube. Go and check it out. I am definitely watching that TV drama though. Of course, if it's good, I'll make a video on it, but I have such high hopes for the TV drama. Anyway, please forgive me again for how scattered this video is. I will be returning and revisiting House Husband more in the future. I will see it again at the end of the year video, and hopefully if this video didn't put so many people off, then you can check out some of my other ones. They're on the channel or something. I don't know. I'm not gonna tell you what to do with your fucking life. Anyway, yeah. That's the end of the video. I don't know, you do whatever you want. All right, bye.